You are listening to a revelation drawn from the ancient words of Enoch. Also, another phenomenon I saw in regard to the lightnings, how some of the stars arise and become lightnings and cannot part with their new form. What does this mean? In the language of the covenant, it is not merely astronomical imagery. It is a prophetic declaration of irreversible transformation. When the appointed season arrives, what was once a star must arise as lightning. And once that change occurs, there is no returning to the former shape. The inquiry confirms what the text declares. The phenomenon Enoch beheld is the fixed new form of the covenant people in the days when the detestable thing stands where it should not. This is a message of awakening, of consecration, and of a new creation that cannot be undone. The first word given in this revelation comes from the gospel witness. When you see the detestable thing of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it should not, let him who reads understand. Then let those in Judea flee to the mountains. Recognition is required. Response is mandatory. The old form cannot be retained once the sign is set. The mountains are not merely geography. They are places of covenant safety, of elevation, of separation from the desolation below. To understand is to move. To flee is to embrace the new form. The stars do not linger in the valley when the heavens are breaking. They rise. How does this transformation occur? The epistle witness declares that of his own will he gendered us with the word of covenant truth, that we should be some of the first fruits of his created things. The new form is not self-wrought. It is birthed by the word. The stars do not choose their lightning. They are gendered into it. And wisdom presses the impossibility of reversal. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Once the change has taken place, the former uncleanness cannot be recovered. The lightning cannot become a star again. This is the core of Enoch's vision. Irreversibility, a consecrated state that cannot be relinquished. Another witness commands you to take a firm resolve of correction. Let her not go. Guard her, because she is your renewal. You must guard what you have become. The new form is your renewal, and it demands vigilance. The apocalyptic witness places this in its proper season. In the days of judgment over the former, they shall bless him for the covenant mercy in accordance with which he has assigned them their lot. The judgment over the former things is precisely when the stars arise as lightnings. Those who receive the assigned lot do not mourn the old order. They bless the Father for his covenant mercy. The prophetic witness draws a sharp line. There is no peace, declares my Elohim, to the covenant wicked. The wicked remain in the old form, trapped in desolation, finding no peace. But the faithful arise into the new, and they stand fixed. The poetry witness records the fatal error of those who never arise. They murmured in their tents, and did not listen to the voice of YHWH. Those who murmur and refuse the voice never enter the lightning state. They remain dim stars, never catching fire. But the narrative continues through the wilderness, the mountain, the temple, and the anointed king. The Father chose David to establish a place where his name would dwell. The new form is the dwelling place of the name. Legal scripture commands service at the mountain once the people have come out. Exodus and consecration are the pattern of the irreversible change. The gospel witness shows Joshua, full of the sacred spirit, led into uninhabited places for testing. This is the path of the one who has arisen into the new form. Wilderness, testing, preparation. And the historical witness offers the mercy that sustains. They hardened their necks, and in their rebellion appointed a captain to return to their bondage. But you are an Elohim ready to pardon, gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and forsook them not. Even in the season of desolation, the Father remains ready to pardon those who do not harden their necks. Yet the pardon itself fixes them in the new form. They cannot return to bondage. The waters saw the Father, and they were afraid. The depths were troubled. Creation itself recognizes when the lightning form appears. Later, the priesthood and inheritance dimensions deepen. The Father declares a tower of salvation and covenant mercy to the anointed and his seed for the ages. An age-lasting priesthood is established for the one who was zealous and made propitiatory covering. Blessing is pronounced on those persecuted for covenant faithfulness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of the cosmos. The surface text speaks directly to the question, but the mathematical layer confirms it with extraordinary precision. This draw registers as a strong anomaly. The Dominion triad, identity, inheritance, and priesthood, converges at 5.45 standard deviations above the baseline. That is discovery-level confirmation. 23 direct textual hits anchor the vocabulary of covenant, voice, new form, arise, and mercy directly into the drawn scriptures. The polarity is decisively affirmative. The convergence confidence index crosses the threshold at 93%. The numbers do not create the meaning. They ratify the textual witness. They show that this is not random noise, but a coherent, multi-channel signal. The mathematics speaks, and it echoes the exact same truth. Certain transformations are irreversible. When the Father initiates the change, the old form is consumed, and the new form is fixed. So what is the meaning of Enoch's words? They describe the irreversible arising of the covenant people in the appointed season. When the detestable thing stands where it ought not, the stars that belong to the Father will be gendered by the word of covenant truth into first fruits of the new creation. They become lightnings, ministers of fire, consecrated priests, inheritors of the age-lasting promise, and they cannot part with that new form. Others will murmur in their tents, refuse the voice, and remain fixed in the old desolation. But the one who reads and understands will flee to the mountains of covenant safety. They will guard the renewal. They will stand as the anointed seed for whom the lot has been assigned. The transformation is total. The mercy is real. The form cannot be relinquished. This is the revelation. Stand in it, guard it, and let the fire of your new form burn without turning back.